What's going on, Nerditude people? Everybody out there tuning in, welcome to the broadcast. This is the pre-race show for the Cameron Trucking 75. I'm Terry Radford. I got a cool nickname here. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but you got Stash down there below me. Stash, Modifieds, my home track, and in the backyard of the number one seed in the AFC and the AFC South champions, the Tennessee Titans, about 45 minutes up the road has Nissan Stadium. How excited are you for some Modifieds at Nashville, brother?
Dude, these Modifieds are awesome. After watching them last week, I don't remember where we were last week, but I do love Nashville Fairgrounds. And from what I've got to run in these cars, these things are going to be a blast, and I cannot wait to see what these guys do throughout the race.
I'm intrigued sitting here watching what our producers back there doing in our background, playing around with a little drone cam, just moving it around, showing all these beautiful cars. A lot of these drivers in practice have been really fast. I mean, just the gap is a tenth all the way down to 10th place. I mean, it is absolutely astonishing how fast all these drivers are. And then you have 3/10 drops down from 11th on back. But these drivers are really kicking it off, and everybody should know already that this pre-show is brought to you by Martin Sports, where you can catch some of the best sim gloves. I've got mine, raced them in the 6-hour race. Man, I'm trying to get it together. I just got back from Jacksonville. I've been back an hour and we're ready to go, but you can get all your beautiful merchandise at martinsports906.com. But we talk about Nashville. We talk about the fairgrounds here. 0.6 of a mile sits this beautiful track. We see the aerial shot here. The corners are very tight and narrow, and it's hard to get too wide in these, but the straightaways are long. You have a lot of speed that you can carry down. Not a whole lot of on-throttle time. What do you expect to see as we progress into this race?
I'm expecting to see a lot of either early entry takeovers, or they're going to try to shoot for the run coming out of the corner. Try to get that long straightaway, use that to their advantage. But I don't know. I'm expecting chaos in a couple of these corners just because of, like you said, them being tight. I think it's going to be real interesting to see where they try to make all their moves.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see. And I forgot to mention that if you use Super Nerd, you get 25% off at checkout for martinsports906.com. Space me, man. I'm telling you, I've had a very long day. I woke up in the middle of the night last night, Stash. I said, let's go to this game. Looked at my wife, said, let's go watch some football tomorrow. And next thing you know, we're waking up, driving down to Jacksonville. But it's also exciting to be on a broadcast and have some fun. I mean, Nashville's unique. Nashville is the home of Music City. It's the honky-tonk capital of the world. You see the facts here going on about this track. We're going to be about 50 degrees here in sim time. Humidity level 54% with a light wind of 7 miles per hour. Partly cloudy as well. That's going to make a lot of difference in the track, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. Track's going to be cool. Tires, they're not going to heat up as quick, so they're really going to have to be easy on the throttle. And as we saw last week, that throttle control plays a huge factor into these cars. Even though they're wide, the amount of horsepower that they have is still enough to overpower these tires. So watching the tire wear, everything like that, it's going to be cool.
Well, we see the 88 right here of Josh Clemens. He's on the track, and you talk about the power that's in these Modifieds. He goes down to the corner, and the car wants to get sideways on him. He can't necessarily move it down any lower because he's just carrying so much speed into the corners. And the banking here, Stash, is just so different. You see where the bottom of the track wants to kick down, make it a little bit flatter to go on the apron. It's going to be challenging for these drivers to not get underneath them and not hit that apron, because if they catch that yellow line, that back end's going to whip right around.
Agreed. I've seen the same thing at other tracks like Bristol. Daytona's a big one where everybody wants to try to run the yellow line, and just that slight touch kicks the whole car. Next thing you know, we've got a whole field packed up into one little ball.
Well, our Buffalo, New York native, hopefully he's a Buffalo Bills fan, they just clinched the AFC East title for the second straight year in a row. First time they've done that since 1995. So a lot of good stuff and storylines happening with their hometowns of people's football teams this afternoon. But we're going to do this in heats. We'll have Heat 1 and Heat 2. We'll have 10 laps on those, and our feature is going to be 60 laps. So all together, we'll hit about 80 laps here on this racing surface, and it might go by within a blink of an eye. And we got 14 drivers going to be doing this too. So with 14 drivers on the same racetrack, you expect lap traffic to really play in, or is it going to be just everybody in the straight and narrow on the same time?
It's just like any other race. It's going to be a little hard to call, but honestly, man, I don't see too much. I see a little bit of lap traffic coming into play, but I don't think it's going to come out too much. I think these guys are going to try to hold their own. We do have a couple fast guys like Racing Vernon. He came out last week, just absolutely took off. So I expect to see him run into lap traffic later on in the race, depending on cautions. But for the most part, I think it's going to be slightly strung out, mostly single line racing here.
We see Jeffrey Clifton here, his best time. He's in third place on the timesheet so far. His best lap time he's put down is a 17.58. The leader's really only done, well, he just went out there and put a 17.44 down, and then a 17.56 from Josh Clemens. So all the drivers so far that have hit the racetrack has been fairly quick. That's been on here while we went on the air. Do you notice a difference? You talked about Racing Vernon coming down last week and just absolutely waxing the field. Do you expect that to happen here? Two different racetracks, obviously, and in two different sets, but can strategy come into effect here? 60 laps, these tires are going to get really beaten.
Oh, without a doubt. These tires, they're going to take a beating, the track being I wouldn't call it a high bank, but it's not a low bank track either. We got one of those beautiful mid-bank tracks, so they're going to be able to carry a lot of speed, and that right front is going to take a lot of abuse, especially with a setup that's meant for short-run games. My prediction is Vernon's going to come out here and he's going to do it again. He's going to take a commanding lead early, even with the, I believe, top 5 invert for the feature. I believe that he's going to work his way right back to the front within, I'll give him 20 laps. That's my prediction. 20 laps, he'll be right back out front and just waxing. He was incredibly fast last week. I hadn't seen anything like that in a long time. But I see him coming out strong.
Well, he's got a 10th so far, and a 10th a lap around here. That means 6 laps will go by, and he will be at the back end of the field. If math serves me right, the Tennessee math don't really plan for me too well. But you see Aiden Hill on the track. He's sitting 6th place in practice so far, fastest lap time of a 17.6, and he just ran that. So a lot faster on this lap. He's laid down a ton of laps. I believe this would be lap number 30 for him on this racetrack. So a lot of drivers putting a lot of times in to potentially go out here and set these blistering times down. You think Racing Vernon's going to go lap the field and just wax them here this afternoon? I'm going to go with the guy in P2. I think now put Jeffrey Clifton to P2 in practice. He just ran a 17.56 and it mirrored what Josh Clemens did. So I'm going to take Jeffrey Clifton. I was going to take Josh Clemens, but let's go with Jeffrey here. I think Jeffrey's going to be the guy to upset him.
Absolutely respectable choice. Clifton come out and he put on a pretty wild show last week as well. I can't remember exactly where he finished, but a lot of these guys, they were putting on a clinic last week and they were giving it hell. Not here tonight was Jason Cameron. He was out there last week just putting every bit of effort he could into catching Racing Vernon. But he is out, unfortunately, tonight due to COVID, from what I'm hearing. Oh, wait. He is here. He is actually sitting in 5th place with a 17.6.
Fast with COVID.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Fast with COVID. I've got some sinus issues too, so I probably will not sound exactly like you're normally hearing me, but we're going to work through that together. A lot of these drivers are very close in time, and this ought to be a very interesting show that we are going to have here this afternoon. You got a dark horse by chance? You picked your overall favorite. You said Racing Vernon is going to wax the field. Is there a dark horse out there that you could look at and go, they're going to invert this field with the top 5? Maybe somebody can sneak around and do something with them.
I think I'm going to wait till after the heat races and see where the invert lines up. Then I might go ahead from there and pick my underdog. See how everybody handles the track in the heat races first. What about you?
That's cheating. I'm going to take mine, and I'm going to take the Martin Sports in-race reporter. All right, I'm going to take Joseph Mitchell to be my dark horse. I think he's sleeping around in practice. He's not wanting to show his heart. He's wanting to show his cards. He's pulling the Kenny Rogers effect, knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. And I think he's going to walk away when the racing's done.
Now we'll see how he does. I mean, last week he let me down a little bit. The only thing I wanted him to do was not let me down, and he ended up restarting in second gear rather than first, and just absolutely broke my heart. So tonight I can't. I'm not willing to do it again. I can't break my heart a second time.
Well, and we hear from our producer that Racing Vernon's going to start from the back, and he's even asking, does he get a bonus from winning from the back? He's going to take the EOL to start it.
A lot of confidence out of Racing. I like it.
I just have one question for the producer. I forgot to ask him. Am I allowed to smoke a vape on here? Okay. We'll break the fourth wall again. I just wanted to make sure we're pre-race show. It's been a long day. I can tell you that much. We got up this morning to go have some fun and watch some football. And do you know how tiring it is? And I know I'm going to go do a race after this one, and these guys are locking in for an hour. But to sit in a car for an hour and 45 minutes and drive down somewhere, and then to drive back with everybody else on the road being weird, oh gosh. It's just, Florida is a mix of everybody. New Jersey, PA, I saw people from Canada. It's just like, do any of you know how to drive? Oh, Stash, you have breaking news for Vernon racing from the back?
So it appears that Racing Vernon has been offered to start from the back a $5 prize if he can come from the back and win.
Nobody tell him, but I'm actually going to match that one. I'll go 5 as well if he can go win the race and have a 2-second lead by the end. I'll throw an extra incentive on it. I want to see if he can do it.
If he can touch lap traffic, I'll throw in $5.
We're not going to tell him we said this. Hopefully he's watching. But 2-second lead for me. I'm an easy person to please. Stash over here, he's bougie. He wants it all. He wants you in the back of the field, like lapping people.
Oh yeah, if he's gonna do it, let's see what the man can really do. This is like making everything that much better. I love this.
Yeah, we'll throw little incentives out there, but practice is over, and qualifying will begin in 1 second. So now qualifying has begun. It is time to see where these drivers are going to go.
Man, I can't wait to see what's going on. I never did pick my underdog, but I think I'm going to go with the number 27 of Aiden Hill, who apparently is coming out to take the track now and lay down his qualifying times. If I remember right, he just had issues last week, got caught up in a wreck, but put on a strong performance, and I think he's going to do really good here tonight. I think he's going to sharpen those reflexes up a little bit and really get her moving. So I'm going to put my money right there. 27, Aiden Hill. Final answer.
That's a good pick. I think Aiden Hill is going to be very fast, as I believe we're sitting right here with him. So Aiden Hill on the racetrack, clocks in. Just now started his lap. But Jeffrey Clifton, he's going to be P1 so far. And I don't even think that our boy Racing Vernon's even going to qualify. I think he's just content with the back.
I think that's what he's going to do. And even if I think if we have people that don't qualify, I do believe he's taking an EOL on top.
Well, we want to let you know that this race is brought to you by MartinSports906.com. Martin Sports is a small company with big-time product, specializes in fully customized printing on everything from team uniforms to t-shirts and hoodies, allowing for zero restriction on colors and allowing the absolute fastest turnaround in the business. Home of the, and I say the, not the Ohio State, but the official racing glove of the sim world, with the most breathable and durable gloves the sim racing world has seen. Check out their full apparel and merchandise at martinsports906.com. And we'll also tell you that a part here, Admin Box. Admin Box is an HID controller designed specially to call out iRace and administrative commands. It is extremely easy, user-friendly, so that it can be used while racing and administrating simultaneously. It is a true plug-and-play with no keyboarding or programming required. Just have an iRace and simulator running in pit or driving mode. Admin Box features keys that are made from elastomer rubber. I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. And are skill screened to their specific iRacing command. The keys are lighted and colored and will change to the functions for ease of use. And we'll also let you know that something that I'm over here talking about football, and who knows, maybe these guys are watching. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. The Stay Tuned Sports Podcast is a podcast that is started in 2016 by two friends with the purpose of producing a sports show like any other. STS Podcast was created to be a show that would cover all major sports with little bit of comedy mixed in as well. Stay Tuned Sports release weekly episodes covering NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, college football, as well as covering news from UFC, Bellator, and even bare knuckle boxing. That sounds entertaining. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, then this is the show for you. And remember, you heard the rest. Now hear the best. I don't know. What do you think? Are you good with some ball busting sports takes, Stash?
Hey man, I'm always down for a good time.
I'll give you one right here. Scott Martin will love to hear this. This is not a prediction. This is not a take. This is a spoiler. Spoiler alert to the NFL fans watching. Titans, Packers, Super Bowl, Titans by 10. You heard it here, Nerditudes. And Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. You can take that one to the bank. Cash it in. Vegas, Titans 10, Packers with them. It's game over. The King's back.
Wow.
And Reese and Vernon took a lap. And he was a ton away from everybody else.
Oh, this man. I love it. Laying down the quick time in practice, laying down the hot time of qualifying thus far. We still got 3 left. I don't believe they're going to take a lap, but...
Well, Richard Mulligani is on the track now. And I don't believe Evan Burke or Jason Cameron Jr. will put one down, but Richard went to P8 here with one more to go.
He did. Jason absolutely packed up and went home for the night. COVID has really taken its toll. He came in, decided he wasn't feeling it.
And Evan Burke was disqualified.
Yep, Evan is also down with COVID. From what I understand, he is race control tonight. And it looks like we've got our heats ready. Why don't you run us on through the lineup there, Terry?
We will. And this lineup is brought to you by... I honestly forgot. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast and Martin Sports. Racing Vernon's going to start P1 right here. Tyler Green, Joseph Mitchell, my dark horse pick. You got Josh Clemens, and we talked Jason Cameron Jr. is out with COVID. He would be the P5 car here, but 4 cars will take time here in this heat feature. So 10 laps here. You taking Vernon?
Oh, I'm taking Vernon. Without a doubt, I'm taking Vernon. I feel like Joe's just going to let me down again, and I just can't deal with another heartbreak. I love the man, but I just can't take another one.
Well, he starts right behind the 51 right here. This could be his opportunity on this start going into 1 to put the bumper to somebody. I think this could be the only way we see him take this lead, unless he, goes out here and just pulls a fast one on us and is just really quick.
You know, as he said a couple times, I'm going to show you a sneaky. So let's see how sneaky you can be in this heat race. See what he can do.
Hopefully he's sneaky fast. Not freaky fast like Jimmy John's, but sneaky fast.
Old Jimmy John's.
You know, they don't surprise me with their subs anymore.
No, I think I'd actually rather take Jimmy John's over Subway at this point in time.
Yeah, well, see, the producer says Firehouse, so we're all three on different ones. I have to go with Subway. I think Subway. How could you go wrong making your own sub? You know, it can never really be bad. It can, you know, if you make the wrong combo.
I mean, at least I guess you're right. You know, it's never bad unless you make it bad, and it's only as bad as you really want to be. But as we come forward, it looks like we're going to take green flag. Racing Vernon right out front.
Yeah.
Tyler Green to his outside. Really running that high line in. Surprised to see somebody take a high line this early in the race.
I was expecting him just to kind of back down a little bit, but you got two wide back there. Mitchell and Clemens, they're putting it all on the line. You had Clemens all the way up and dang near against the wall out here, trying to do what he was doing, and look at our in-car right here. Look at the perfect sponsor plugs. We got to get him to move his camera to right on his face. I can see the M. I know he's talking about something about Martin. I'm not 100% sure which one it is, but a commanding lead, 1.5 second lead for Racing Vernon out here. He is just gone. I mean, 17.5. Everybody else was in the 18s. He's gone. It's going to take something to happen here. 7 laps to go in the heat number 1. There it is. Now we moved this camera. Now I know he's talking about Martin Sports with the VR.
Such a goofball. Even had time to line up before this race. Still can't do it. But as we take a look back, Tyler Green is slowly being chased down by Joseph Mitchell. Slowly starting to reel him in, but you know, as you said, Racing Vernon, he's gone. He's moved out to a 1.7 second lead. Just laying down some blistering laps. I got no words for him. He's fast. He's good.
I'm very surprised with what the 5 of Tyler Green's doing. He's running a little bit higher line than I would have predicted him to run, but now he makes me a liar, goes back down to the bottom. Mitchell's starting to catch him just a tad. And Josh Clemens really isn't out of this fight either. It's a 3-way battle for second, as we're going to have 4 laps to go. We'll get 3 when the leader crosses the line here. It's up for anybody's ball game who's going to take the P2 position and head on over to what would then become the pole sitter, because Racing Vernon's going to move back to the end of the field, and he's going to start P number 12. So they're fighting for first, but in all actuality, they're fighting for P2 in this one, and Mitchell's got a good run so far.
And let's not forget that we not only is Racing Vernon taking the EOL at the beginning of the feature, we've also got a top 5 invert for the starting lineup of the feature. So that's going to shake things up just a little bit more on top of, you know, Vernon taking that EOL.
I had forgotten about the invert. 1 lap to go. Racing Vernon has this lead. He's been the class of this field so far. He has pulled out to a 3-second lead as he comes through 3 and 4. Heat number 1 goes to Racing Vernon. He's just putting on the show like he wanted to.
You know, and even though he is fast, we cannot leave that yellow line factor out of this. That yellow line, it doesn't matter how fast you are. If you want to cross that yellow line, it will spin you around in a hurry, and it takes one aggressive driver to get it back on the track. You have to finesse it so aggressively. It's weird to try to get yourself back on the line once you hit that yellow line.
Oh, goodness. I will fight you. Jimmy John's is good. Jimmy John's is good. And don't get me wrong, I'm not. We can have this debate anytime, any place, anywhere. But you make your own sub. But, while we're talking about subs, I'll kick it over to Stash with the best mustache in iRacing, in my opinion, to give you the starting lineup for heat number 2.
Well, we have the car number 31 of Jacob Torman. Sitting in second, we've got the number 1 car of Miles Moore. Third place, we have the 13 of Richard Maliugani. And to his outside, rounding out the field, car number 61 of Andrew Major.
This right here seems to be the heat that I expected Heat 1 to be, but this is pretty close-knit. All of these drivers were right on top of one another in practice. Miles Morse was a little bit slower than the other ones, but he put down a good qualifying lap. Do you see somebody in this heat that could really go out and just show everything they got?
I would put a little bit of faith in Rich Maliugani. I know he's usually pretty busy in the sim, constantly laying down laps. I'm waiting to see what he does. I have a feeling he's going to kick up the turbos when it comes feature time. Just absolutely lay a clinic, make his run up through the field.
We heard make a clinic, and now we get to see the green flag number 2 wave on the Nashville Fairgrounds, and green flag's out, and they're right on top of one another, and oh man, side by side again for second.
Yep, Jacob Torman comes out of 2, takes the early lead right behind him. Lost my clicker. There we go. Richard Maliugani sitting right behind him. Starting to reel him back in just a little bit, but not to forget that we have Miles Moore in the number 1 car directly behind him.
You got Jacob right there, Maliugani, Morse right in his tire tracks. Morse started second, slipped back. Leader's going to have a fight on his hands, as now here comes Richard. He's going to get to the bottom. He's going to look, not going to try to make that pass. Tight battle so far, Las Vegas, Nevada native, and if he's a Las Vegas Raiders fan, he knows he's fighting for his playoff life here with the Los Angeles Chargers. He's going to make a run for it. Now we're only down to 6 to go.
6 to go and a 2/10 lead over from Jacob Torman to Richard Maliugani. He's got, I wouldn't say plenty of time, but he's definitely got some time. He can study Jacob and realize where he's running, see what he can make of his car and where he can make his move at, and just try to take it out on the last couple of laps, take the W home.
He sails it in that time. Not going to get the run he wanted off the exit of the corner, but Jacob will. So Jacob gets a good run, continuously leads. He's led every lap so far, 5 laps down, 5 more to go. You see the deck lid, and for the first time I've seen somebody put the graphic on perfect, and now you can see exactly what it is. So we're going to see now, can Jacob hold off Richard? Richard got loose there, and we have 4 laps to go. Who's going to paint the line better? Who's going to get the run off? And since they're close, could we see a bump and run to the end?
I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. It's racing after all. Rubbin is racing. Anything can happen at a track like this. As difficult as it is, it's just a really fun track to run. I'm not much an asphalt guy, but I do love running here. I can't even lie to you. It's a really fun, really tricky track. And honestly, I kind of wish I was in these cars running with them.
Well, fastest lap so far around this circuit was the 17.6 Richard laid down, but Jacob was able to just beat him all the way around. 2 laps to go. They'll come to the white flag here in heat number 2. This will set the outside row of this field, and then you have the invert. 1 to go. Jacob holds it over Richard. 6 now, 4/10 of a mile is going to separate him from the outside pole, and then the invert back to 5th. So through 3 and 4, Jacob takes heat number 2. Richard Maliugani, Miles Morris, and Drew Major takes it out and rounds out your 4-car heat.
And now, before long, we'll actually be lining up for heat race number 3. Looking like it's also going to be a 4-car heat race. Terry, if you want to take us through the lineup while they're gridding now.
Yeah, Jeffrey Clifton, Aiden Hill, Preston DeMello, and Josh Lockwood. Here's your 4 starters here. This is, this has been pretty entertaining. We haven't seen anybody fighting for the lead, Stash. Your pick, Aiden Hill, right there, and my pick, Jeffrey Clifton, as the dark horses to come up here. Or, well, my pick to win. Your dark horse fighting one another for heat number 3.
I'm staying with my vote. I'm pretty sure Aiden Hill's going to take this one. He's my man right now. I'm waiting to see what happens.
Sticking to your guns. I'm sticking to mine. I think Jeffrey Clifton could be the guy to watch when it comes to the race win here this afternoon. We'll see how he looks in this heat. I know I put you on the spot and didn't let you actually make the pick after the heats, because what's fun in that? We've got to be looking here. So
well, Terry, I'll take your hand on it. Go ahead and force mine a little bit. I'll play your game. We'll see who comes out on top.
Well, hopefully Mitchell doesn't let me down. I know he's our Martin Sports In Race reporter, and we'll give him some grief if he lets us down towards the end of this race. So all these drivers are out here to have fun, and this is one of the funnest tracks to race the modified zone, because you can really be aggressive off exit, but you don't have a whole lot of room when you come off of exit, so you want the car to slide just a tad bit, and we've yet to see an iRacing flag, yellow flag come out. Hopefully we can keep it this way in this heat.
Hopefully maybe we can even take it all the way through the feature. I'd love to see a green to checkers feature as we come out of 4, about to take the green flag. The outside lane getting actually a pretty solid start compared to what we've seen, running the outside and holding true as they still come out 2x2 out of turn 2 and into 3.
Great drone work, great racing. Aiden Hill giving the battle to Jeffrey Clifton on the outside, and Clifton will prevail. Aiden Hill's going to slide back to P number 2 there, and Clifton's going to try to set sail. He already has a 0.3 of a second gap. Now make that 0.4 of a second to Aiden Hill. Preston DeMello is right on the back bumper as well, and this might be the closest, tightest field we've seen so far.
You're not wrong. Even Josh Lockwood relaxing back and forth right now. It's a 1.3 second gap between him and the leader, but anything at a track like this can and probably will happen. It almost reminds me of Darlington. Anything is bound to jump up and bite you at any point in time. It's really hard to predict.
It is very hard to predict, but right now, if I'm anybody predicting anything, I would say that still the fastest guy we've seen so far was Racing Vernon. Was just an absolute smoke show in what he did. Now there's a battle back here for the 3rd place position. Preston and Josh having a good little battle here. Can Josh make a pass and go up there exactly where they qualified for this heat? We haven't seen a whole lot of shakeups in any of the other heats. I believe this one could pay dividends to being the closest battle across the board.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the 68 car, Josh Lockwood, and I like it. I like the sleek, black and gray, very simple, very basic. It's just really nice looking car, especially with all the contingencies, not too much. Everything's placed just right. It's a good looking car.
Well, he also has the skull and bones right there on the front nose of that machine. So he's hoping to go out there and be death to the field and go win this race and win this event. But 8 laps have now crossed, or we're on lap 8. 7 laps have been completed. Jeffrey is still holding the lead. He now has the gap all the way up to 1 second. So the gap really hasn't changed a whole lot, and Jeffrey's just going to put this thing on cruise control with 2 more laps to go.
And luckily enough, just a heat race.
Hi, Mom. White flags in the air.
Luckily enough, it's just a heat race determining lineups for our feature event. Top 5 invert to shape things up as we head into turn 3. And it looks like Jeffrey Clifton will take the win, followed by Aiden Hill, Preston DeMello, and then Joshua Lockwood rounding out our top 4.
Top 4 started, top 4 stayed the same. Now it's time to go into the 5-minute warm-up, and I do believe we're going to talk to our Martin Sports In Race reporter very soon, correct?
So we will actually catch him in the middle of the feature right now. We are going to cut to a short commercial break while these guys are warming up and getting ready for the feature.
I totally missed that.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in Irish. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flags Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Well, welcome back. We're ready to start the feature here. 65 laps. We'll invert 5. This ought to be fun. I tell you what is really fun, Stash, is getting your setups from McConey Setup Shop. McConey Setup Shop was one of the first setup shops on the iRacing platform, and to this day still remains a leading name in quality, affordability, and professionalism. With a staff decorated, distinguished, and dedicated setup builders, McConey Setup Shop delivers top-notch race and championship-winning setups to the iRacing garages of drivers across all the simulation community. You can check out subscription plans at McConeySetupShop.com. And don't forget, it's their setups, but your victories. Hopefully Jeff McConey's watching, and just the emphasis on your victories really puts the nail on the coffin.
That it does. Honestly, I love running McConey setups. They're super fast, but they're also really really nice to control. Just overall awesome. I love talking to Jeff. Great people. I recommend McConey Setup Shop.
Did you know they had a book?
I did. They've actually got dirt and asphalt sides.
That is right. And How I Drive, with a lot of great things here. But we have the starting lineup brought to you by Martin Sports. That is it. Richard Malagani is going to start P number 1. Tyler Green, Jeffrey Clifton, Jacob Torman, Joseph Mitchell, the guy that says he is intentionally going to let us down now, is going to be 5th. Aiden Hill, Preston DeMello, Miles Morse, Andrew Majors, Josh Clemens, Josh Lockwood, Rayson Vernon, dead last on the field, and he's got $15 on the line if he can make something happen. And Joseph's just going to let us down intentionally.
100%. Like I said, I love the man. He called it out loud, so let's see what kind of disappointment he can bring to the nerds tonight.
65 laps are about to be underway. Green flags in the air. Tyler Green takes the lead, and let's see if he can hold it.
Richard Malagani taking that inside line, bouncing the apron a couple of times, and still managing to keep the car relatively straight. And even coming into 3, he's still battling for the lead, which coming out of 4, it might be close. He may not clear him, and he will not buy the checker flag.
It's nice to see a Mako paint shop on the outside of the car. That's something you see. Cars get into the wall. A little bit of tag in there. I believe that might have been Mr. Mitchell. But the Mako driver is going to go to the outside. Now it's too wide for second. We have battles all the way through this field.
Yes, we do. And your dark horse, Tyler, Jeffrey Clinton, sitting in second right now. He's got Tyler Green to his outside, and my pick, my underdog, sitting in 4th, just chilling out, watching everything unfold, running a solid race right now.
My race pick is P number 2. My dark horse is just, slightly disappointing me, just dropping positions. As cars in the wall right there, that would be, I believe that would have been the leader. That has tapped the wall there in the 15 of Jeffrey's going to get to the inside, try to make a peak going into 3.
Richard Malagani still holding on to the lead as he's being pressured from Jeffrey Clinton. He's hanging right there with him, watching. I don't know, your pick is running really well right now. I think it's going to unfold to be a really good ending.
Well, and to give you a heads up of where we're sitting so far with Rayson Vernon, he's in 8th, fighting for 7th. Battle for the lead has shaped up. Here comes Jeffrey. He gets to the inside of Richard. Richard gets hard into the wall right there and lifted up, trying to take these billboards off. Nashville Fairgrounds don't have a whole lot of money, buddy. Don't take those off the wall. Joseph's going to get to the outside of him, and everybody is hoping that, maybe, just maybe, we can keep this thing clean and green to the end.
It's looking really good right now. The few moments of contact we have seen as another car comes into the wall just out of 4. It looked like the number 1 of Miles Moore. Again, keeping them straight, keeping them rolling. These cars, these drivers are doing a really excellent job of keeping the car straight. Even after contact, we've seen, 3 3 contacts with the wall and 1 or 2 more on the yellow line, they're running. They're behind the wheel. They're wheeling these things pretty hard.
Well, it wouldn't be the modified tour if you couldn't do it. You see that ugly mug right there of Joseph Mitchell back here with the Martin Sports. Look at him just sawing at that wheel. You see the input putting in there. He's kind of looking in his rear view mirror. You know, that little VR. I don't know how that VR. I might have to get to explain this to me very soon. He's just twitching his head a ton. I don't know if he's trying to like scratch his nose or if he's trying to look at what's behind him.
You know, I want to take the racer's guess and say he's looking around and making sure everything's all right, but realistically, I think he might actually be just scratching his nose.
Well, I think he's listening to us. He's smiling a lot.
Oh, beautiful.
He's paying attention to us, so who knows? We'll keep the camera on him, just in case. He kind of looked like Bane. You remember the dude was like, "Hello, Batman. It's good to see you today."
Going into darkness.
Yeah, kind of had the Bane feel to him. Clifton holds the lead. Vernon's moved into the top 5 now. He's only 2.6 seconds away from the lead. Tyler Green has fell back to 1 second. Aiden Hill's 1.5 second. Jacob Torman is 2.3 seconds back. And the charge to the front for Mr. Vernon is getting him up here as quick as we said. As we talked about it. We said we wanted to go green to the end. Caution at number 1 comes out. The iRace and iFlag's yellow flag has descended upon us, and that would have came from Preston DeMello. Would have been the start of this incident as we take a look and look at the replay. Let's see what happened here.
Judging by what I'm seeing here, it looks like he actually bounced the apron in 1 and 2 2 different times, and it shot him up to the wall. And that's all she wrote. I was mentioning earlier that apron playing that game is a very dangerous one, and it claimed its first victim tonight.
Oh, then he got Clemens, ended up pulling out and hitting a couple other people. Not a good start. Andrew Major got a piece of that one as well. One other person might have got a piece of that one, but tough break so far for those drivers, and this just helps everybody else's case to get bunched back up and maybe go make a little bit of adjustment or take tires here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of pit strategy coming in here, making small adjustments if they can down pit road, try to get their cars, fine-tuned in for the rest of this race. We've still got, looks like almost 50 laps to go. Still plenty of time. Rich Racing Vernon chilling back in 5th place now, already making his way up.
And while we're under this yellow flag, could we grab our Martin Sports and Race reporter for a second?
We absolutely can.
Hey, Joseph.
Yellow.
All right, so we've kind of made comparisons to what you look like here. Have you ever watched Batman?
Yeah.
You kind of look like Bane. With the headset coming down, you got the stripe in the middle. Can you sound like Bane?
All the ladies started loving me when I put on the mask. Something like that. True.
Well, me and Stash are up here having a good time.
Oh yeah, I know.
So it sounds like you're actually listening to us while you're racing.
My brother's watching the stream.
How do you plan on letting us down for the rest of this race?
Just watch. We'll pull a sneaky.
Let's leave him here while we take this lap around here with old Joseph. Green flag goes back in the air. You see Joseph letting us down as normal. He promised us he would let us down, and he slips back a couple positions. But how's the car feel on the inside here?
It ain't dirt. Now see, there's a bump right in the middle of right there. And about the same spot in 4 as well, and it scares the hell out of me.
when you signed up to be the in-race reporter, did you expect to be the in-race as caution flag number 2 has fell out? That would be Andrew Major, Josh Lockwood, Miles Morrison, Preston DeMello again. Did you expect to be in-race like we've talked to you while you're racing?
It's a lot less talking to me than I was ready for.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's right. You weren't expecting that, were you?
Well,
Check this out. Look at this. How weird is this? I just shifted down in the first gear. How weird is that?
Since you're here and you have the Martin Sports logo on your VR, are you wearing the Martin Sports gloves?
Yeah.
Which ones do you have on?
No, I'm kidding. I don't have any. Because he didn't send me none like I asked.
Well, we're gonna have to fix that one at some point in time. So, but tell me, how good does it feel to have the Martin Sports? How did you get the sticker up there?
Yeah. So evidently, if you buy T-shirts, he'll send you Martin Sports VR attachments that stick right to the front of your VR.
Well, tell me about the T-shirts. How much do you like the custom-made T-shirts?
This one I wear it as often as I can. I got my kid one, got my family one, got everybody. Pretty much everybody in my family one, even my girlfriend wanted one. They're great. I love them. They're very breathable, real light. I'm not sweating. This is great. This is great.
Making me want to go put the sim shorts on.
Wait, they have shorts?
You apparently haven't visited martinsports906.com. And if you use promo code SUPERNERD, Joseph, you can get 25% off.
Oh. I get 25% off the shorts, too? I like them short.
Yeah, all of them.
Right up into my thighs.
Stash, you got anything for our in-race let me down reporter?
I'm having a hard time breathing. I don't think I have anything.
Well, we're going to let you go. You can go let us down some more. We're 25 laps into this event. And if you want to talk to us some more, just tap your head 3 times and we'll catch you on camera.
Oh, hell no. I can't do that. It'll send me right. No, with the Oculus. I'll do it twice, but that's about it.
All right. Yeah, 2 times. Tap your head 2 times, and Dustin's going to see you, and he'll throw you up here with us, all right?
You're gonna let me go so I can let you down. You sound like my ex, dude.
We're gonna let you go so you can let us down. That's what my wife tells me all the time too. So we'll see you later, buddy. Good luck the rest. Good luck until we talk to you again.
Thanks, Boo.
Bye, Boo.
Thanks for hanging out. I love that character. That man is awesome.
Oh goodness, he sold our sponsors for us. We didn't have to do anything there except for just letting him know that he could get 25% off there. But we'll do this one real quick. If you use promo code SUPERNERD for iRacing iFlags, you get 15% off. And iRacing iFlags is the iRacing standard for open source marshalling light boarding system with 64 light emitting diags, LED lights that light up, that go all the way around your room. Green flag's back in the air, and the iRacing iFlag green flag comes back out. You could light your room green when the green flag comes back. And now Jeffrey Clifton still holds the lead, and Racing Vernon, he's P3. He might be shooting for $15.
He's working at it hard. He come up from the back, running 3rd right now. He's putting our 2nd place car of. Actually, I just lost it again. Tyler Green, I believe. Putting a lot of pressure on him. Looking like he's going to shoot to the inside here in 3 and 4. If we can make it stick, get a little bit of room, and not quite coming out of 4.
So for the fans that are watching, we're closing into halfway, and we had a challenge. He decided to start in the rear. All right. So this guy said, "I whipped you guys enough last week. I'm gonna start in the rear. We'll do the invert, whatever. I'll go shotgun." $5 incentive, and me and Stash said, "You know what? If you can have," I said, "if you do second lead, we'll give you $5 more. We'll make it 10 for the night." And then Stash said, "If you're touching the rear of the field, like Nemo touching the butt, you get an opportunity to go up here and get another 5. So $15. It pays for his track and it pays for his car. So he gets a free car, free track, or just a free track if you wanted it, courtesy of us here. So it's a win-win for him, Stash.
Absolutely. Coming through the field like this, he's absolutely doing what I expected. Coming out and put it on the clinic that he did last week and, showing up tonight, running through the field, chasing down the leader now. I believe he's cut his lead down to just a half a second and still trailing. He's coming out and he's putting on a clinic. I think he's going to be a force to reckon with all season long.
Well, and what's sad is your race pick and your sleeper pick are all together. So you said Vernon was going to walk away with the field. You took the low-hanging fruit. He's P2. You took Aiden Hill as your sleeper. He's P4, and he's right on the heels of Tyler Green right here to potentially take third. So you'll have second, and third on the field. And Mitchell's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He's going to let us down. He's pissed down his leg. He's half a second behind Aiden Hill. We can make fun of him all we want. We're good buddies outside of this one, so we're not picking on him a whole lot. We're just telling him the truth.
Oh, absolutely. And he's my 100%, without a doubt, my emotional support spotter. Get off the bottom, run the damn top. What are you doing? Do you even want to set a quick time? I can't thank him enough for being such the wonderful emotional support spotter that he is.
Emotional support spotter. I'm going to need one of those because I'm probably going to cry on people's shoulder for the next 2 nights. If I don't race my way in tonight and win, I'm not in the playoffs. If I don't race my way in tomorrow, I miss the big race for another league that I'm in. But battle for the lead, since we're talking about winning out here, my pick in Jeffrey Clifton, racing Vernon, going nose to tail here. Vernon's put on a clinic so far, driven through the field, had a couple helps with the cautions, 2 cautions so far. Lap 39 is going to hit this board. But now we see the 2 people, the 2 titans that I thought were going to fight one another. They're fighting, and Jeffrey kind of blinked for a second. So racing Vernon's going to have to be a little bit sketchy here.
And then just outside of these 2, Tyler Green in that number 5 car, he's under some serious pressure from Aiden Hill right now. Also running nose to tail, and then our letdown of the night directly behind them, just waiting to sneak up on in.
Well, not really. There's a lot of excuses that can come into this one, Stash. I'm not really a driver. I'm normally broadcasting. My hips were hurting. My foot slipped off the gas. There's a ton of excuses we can use here. 25 laps to go, 24 when we cross this line. You see the back end starting to slip out on Clifton just a tad bit. Vernon's trying to get there, trying to put his nose in there on the inside, but we got a heat wave, as the sponsor says on the back lid of that modified. Are we going to see the tires get a heat wave here in just a second? Because I don't think Racing Vernon really gives a shit about what's going on. He wants to take this lead, take this win.
He's already got a $5 prize on his mind, and that man, he's going to work for it, and he's going to work hard for it. $5 that he's aware of, 10 more on top of it. We're not quite sure if he's aware of it yet or not. If he's watching the stream, he just might be. And, we got confirmation. He said bet. He knows what's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, he knows.
I don't think he's going to get yours, and because he haven't gotten to the rear of the field. I mean, it's only 2 seconds is the gap that I'm seeing here. Make that 7 seconds from Clifton all the way back to Jake. But Jacob has an issue. Caution comes out. This would almost virtually explain that it's not going to happen. And that was Jacob that brought the yellow flag out this time. So I don't see him catching to the back bumper of Josh Clemens with under 20 laps to go when we take the green flag here. But just I believe that one just happened to be Jacob pushing too much here.
From what I'm seeing, Jacob actually bounced the apron. Claims another one tonight. Touched it once or twice, and then, he was already past the point of commitment, but just a little touch from Richard Maligani sent him the rest of the way around. That apron's dangerous, man. it bites, and it bites hard.
It is one dangerous jalapeno pepper, and this race is going within a blink of an eye. We had originally thought that this one was going to go all the way to 9:30, and that I was going to have to be like Superman and quickly change out of my good britches to my shorts to get into this race. But I'm not going to have to do a whole lot of running. It's 8:50 Eastern, and we're almost done. So now we see the two Titans that we thought were going to fight one another. 19 to go. It should be about 17 when we take the green flag. Who's your money on here? The guy that's going to be on the outside, the guy on the inside? Do you think Tyler Green can maybe come in here and potentially spoil the party for Racing Vernon and take that $15 away? That, well, he's already in Nashville. He could probably get my ex-wife for that amount.
Yeah. Racing Vernon, he's got a strong car. We've seen him hang with him on the outside, so I think he's going to be a real force to reckon with. Clifton, he's going to have the preferred line on the inside, but we've already seen where Racing Vernon's come from and where he's at now. I still see Racing Vernon taking the lead. I don't think he's going to get the tail of the field, so I think he's going to only get the 10 tonight. But I do believe he will have that 2-second lead. I think the big battle is going to be between your pick of Jeffrey Clifton, my pick of Aiden Hill, and I think Tyler Green's going to poke his nose in there and give both of them one hell of a run for money. I think I'm pretty sure second place is going to be a three-way battle between those three people.
Yeah, and I mean, sitting in fifth, Joseph's doing a good job hanging in there. He hasn't let us down yet.
Not entirely.
Not entirely. Running top 5, not too bad for the emotional support spotter out here on the racetrack. He might need an emotional support spotter at the end of this one if chaos ensues. But we'll have 16 laps to go. Pace Truck's going to make his way down pit lane here, and 0.6 of a mile goes by rather quickly. Green flag's back in the air, and there is no contest for P number 2. Vernon's going to get it clean and green, and contact's made for third.
Aiden Hill tucking back underneath the...
Oh!
Wow. I missed that. I blinked for a second, and action unfolded right in front of me. Welcome to Modifieds, I reckon.
He knocked the teetotal piss out of him, and it did no harm to him. It helped the driver in front of him. So top 3, Clifton, Vernon, Green, are all stepping away, trying to play the honky-tonk at the Ryman. Battle for the lead starts to unfold. Here comes Vernon. He's trying to get the back end squirrely on Jeffrey. Down the back straightaway, coming to 13 to go. Not sure if the 2-second lead could be a thing, because he can't seem to get around the 15 here.
And as they're up there battling, I'm watching the 5 car of Tyler Green. He's looking pretty loose coming out of 2. This is, I believe, 2 or 3 laps in a row now that he's come out high and almost clobbered the wall just to shoot back into the middle of the track. And we see it once more. Exiting 2 is really tricky. I can't tell you how many times I've smacked that wall in the super late model just to ruin my night. He's doing a really good job of keeping it off the wall, but man, is it proven to be real difficult as Aiden Hill's slowly catching up to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're riding here with Aiden Hill. He's right behind him. So, in another part that Vernon's having the same issue. He's had to back it down a little bit, and he's let the leader get away. We're coming to 10 laps to go here. The tires are really hot. Everything's starting to heat up here, but the 5's reeling in Vernon. The 5's reeling in the leader. So, come lap time-wise, they're all fairly on the same pace, and we thought that Vernon was going to come up there and just pass the leader. No. The last lap by, Jeffrey had a faster lap than Vernon. He is matching him now, so who knows? My pick might have this win in the bag. We're going to come to 8 laps to go. First race luck, maybe.
Solid choice. Watched Clifton last week, and don't get me wrong, he put on one hell of a performance. But to see him keeping Racing Vernon back the way that he is, incredibly impressive.
Without barring a caution, we have 7 laps remaining at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and this has been a remarkable performance from Clifton. Didn't have a whole lot of this speed that we're seeing here. He has the fastest lap on the board. He has the fastest lap around the track as we speak. Battle going on right here between the 45. That would be the letdown. Now he has fallen out of the top 5. Richard Malagani comes up to that 5th place position. 5 laps remaining, and we could be seeing an upset winner.
We absolutely could. Watching Malagani take over, looks like 5th place over Joseph Mitchell. As he once told me, I'm pretty sure he's still in first gear. I don't think he's found second yet. I don't think he's ready for that kind of speed. So we're just gonna see what he wants to do. I guess chilling right where he wants to be. I reckon. He did say that he was gonna let us down, so he's doing a fantastic job at it. As it looks like Jacob Torman gonna try to take the inside from him and take away yet another position.
Well, and Torman is no slouch himself. He's going to catch the wall right there. But Torman's done really good. 2 laps to go for our race leader, who has stretched the lead to 0.6 of a second. Now make it 0.7 of a second and growing. The lead has not faltered for the man in the 15 machine. He's going to come through 3 and 4. See the white flag out here on this track. And, oh my goodness. Barring a miracle, I would be 1 for 1 on race picks. And when you talk to the winner stash, you need to let him know that when I come out, he goes to Victor Lane through 3 and 4. Jeffrey Clifton, winner at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Absolutely solid choice. One hell of a performance. Setup prevailed big time. Let's take a look. 0.7. 0.7 of a second lead over second place. And then from there, 2, 3, and 4 seconds on back all the way through 8th. Impressive. I almost don't even know what to say. These guys put on one hell of a race tonight. As we see Clifton doing some nasty burnouts all the way into 1, tap the wall, bring it back, and do a couple more on top.
A whole lot of burning it down here this afternoon, like a good country music show at the Grand Ole Opry. Clifton comes in here, comes to Nashville, takes the victory. Racing Vernon doesn't get the $15. Not the story that we thought we'd be talking going into the post-race show, but with this going, we'll go through our finishing order here. And the finishing order would be brought to you by producer in my ear. Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. See, I had it mixed between the two. I thought it was either Martin Sports or Stay Tuned Podcast, but I didn't want to say both because then I would just look stupid. Your finishing order here this afternoon. Jeffrey Clifton gets P1, Racing Vernon, Tyler Green, Aiden Hill, Richard Malagani rounds out your top 5. Joseph, I let the team down once again. Mitchell in 6th, Jacob Torman, Josh Clemens, Josh Lockwood, Andrew Major, Mile Morse, Preston DeMillo, and Jason Cameron Jr., who did not get the start tonight due to COVID, will round out your 13 modified field. And welcome to the post-race show brought to you by martinsports906.com. Super Nerd gets you 25% off any, and I mean any. You can get these beautiful gloves. You can get these beautiful gloves with the padded leather palms. These have the sticky Spider-Man fingers, as I like to call them. I don't have my other gear, but you can get t-shirts, sim shorts, socks. You can get hats. You can get just about anything. MartinSports906.com. It's your place to go. Custom tailored stuff for your brand. let's get to talking to some people here. You got P3 Stash. This ought to be fun to hear what Tyler Green's got to say.
Tyler, you got a copy on us?
I hear you loud and clear.
Solid performance tonight. Started second, ended up third. Nonetheless, still a podium. One hell of a race. How was the car feeling to you? How'd the track treat you? Tell me what's on your mind.
Honestly, the car and the track didn't feel like they changed over 60 laps. So, I mean, it was loose going in, loose coming off. I was just hoping I didn't slap it off the outside wall like I did in the heat. There's no way I was catching those two guys. They're fast.
Absolutely. Turn 2 was looking pretty tricky for a couple of different drivers, and it turned around and bit a couple others, and the yellow line turned around and bit a few more. Just absolutely just a wild race tonight here at Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, that yellow line, that wasn't friendly. I hit that once, and I thought I was going backwards.
Well, a wonderful podium finish for you. I know you got some sponsors that you want to thank. Right now, it is your time. Thank who you need to thank.
I just got to thank my buddies for watching. Adam, Tyler. Hopefully my dad is watching. I don't know if he was watching or not. But other than that, I don't know if my full send guys are watching. But it was a fun night. Hope to see y'all next week.
Absolutely, man. And I can't wait to see what next week unfolds for East Coast Touring Modifieds by Martin Sports. Y'all have put on an absolute hell of a show over these last 2 weeks, and I think it's going to be a fantastic season.
I hope so too, with the way we've been racing.
All righty, man. Well, we're going to let you unwind and, sit here and do what you got to do. Get yourself ready for next week.
Absolutely. Catch y'all later.
Thanks for coming.
Go ahead and get our P2 guy, Racing Vernon, in here, and we'll see, if maybe he was just as surprised as we was that he couldn't take it. He said it was too easy. Racing Terry up here in the Nerds broadcast booth. What happened? You had $15 on the line.
Yeah, that second to last restart, I kind of burned the tires up a little bit too much and got a little tight trying to run him back down, and he pulled away, and I couldn't get back to him.
Well, I will ask and kind of rub some salt on the wound. What have you done with the $15 if you would have won it?
Go straight in my bank account.
Oh, I was thinking maybe you'd have headed to Broadway or something, Nashville, cool. But talk about the car. You started shotgun on the field. You had to work your way through the traffic. Did you find it challenging at all to get through there?
Yeah, it's always challenging going through from the shotgun of the field. But, I mean, good race for Jeff. I think we're tied in the points now. I don't know if there's bonuses or not, but the car was really good. It's just really aero tight behind someone, so kind of hard to pass around this track.
Well, we got any shout-outs out there, sponsors, family, friends, anybody that you want to thank? The floor's yours.
Everybody that puts up this league, shout out to them, kudos. Tonight was actually a really clean race compared to this track. This track's known for yellows, but and then you guys broadcasting, because we wouldn't be here without you.
Well, thank you so much, Racing Vernon. We'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll be having a conversation one spot ahead.
Yeah, hopefully. You never know.
All right, brother. Have a good rest of your evening. And Stash, I'll leave you with the honors because I'm the guest here. We'll let the mainstay that was here last week talk to our race winner and Jeff Clifton.
How you doing?
The man of the night coming from third, taking the win, absolutely dominating performance tonight. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, I mean, we watched what happened last week, and I felt like I needed to make a statement of my own. And, I said it last week. I said if I can get Vernon behind me, I know that I can probably hold him off. And he gave me all he had tonight, and thankfully, he made a couple of mistakes that I could breathe a little easier towards the end there.
Make a statement you did. Not sure if you were aware, Racing Vernon had had a prize up for coming from the back all the way through the front, plus 2 more incentives on top that we got confirmation that he was aware of that me and Terry here made. But you held him off. But not only did you hold him off, you held him to a 0.7 of a second lead. Just an absolute amazing performance. I really don't even know what to ask you other than how does it feel?
Feels good. I was last week. I kind of had a feeling that maybe Vernon would be the guy to beat, and I still feel like he's definitely the guy to beat. But I feel like now that I've won a race, that I have something to bring to the table to try to compete with him till the end of the season. So I really look forward to next week and the weeks thereafter to see what I can bring to the table and see if I can't win another one here.
Well, I mean, right now is your time to shine. I know you've got people to thank, and the floor is all yours, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Evan, obviously, he put this league on. Without him, we wouldn't have anywhere to race. And I've got it on the side of my car there. Elite Performance Industries, they make setups for short tracks, road courses, super speedways, all kinds of stuff. They did setups for a league that I was a part of, and like every setup was absolutely perfect. So I got to put their stuff on my car, just make sure that I get them the exposure that I think that they deserve. And obviously you guys, because you guys put the broadcast on every week, and we appreciate that. We like to try to put on a good show for people to watch.
And I've just got confirmation from Evan that we have a 5-point difference between first and second place as the battle for the lead is heating up. I guess what can we expect from the rest of the season from you?
The best that I got. I'm just gonna come out here and do anything that I can to win the race. Short from wrecking people, because I don't believe in that. But I'm gonna just try my best.
Well, I love to hear it, man. Can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings. And I bid you the best, and I can't wait to see it.
Thanks, guys.
Well, what an incredible night we've had here so far. And Stash, I know we want to thank all of our sponsors. We'll split this one up a tad bit here. I'm going to pull out the old trusty phone. Martin Sports, iRacing, iFlags, both of those, if you use code SUPERNERDS, you get 25% off Martin Sports, 15% off iRacing, iFlags, and 15% off Makoni Setup Shop. So don't forget that it's their setups, but your victories. And for Martin Sports, he's just got the best damn glove that you could find on the market, and everything that he sells is just so perfect and authentic. And I'm going to get me one of those iRace and iFlex too. I want to see the lights change behind me, but Butt Kicker, Nerd TV, 25% off. We didn't get a chance to talk about Butt Kicker, and I know Stash, you do a lot with them, so tell them about Butt Kicker.
Man, Butt Kicker's awesome. It gives you a whole new sense of feeling whenever you're racing. It helps out big time in dirt and asphalt. You can finally feel all those little bumps, not just being able to see it on track, but you actually get to feel it. It'll help out the road racing as well, again, with the bumps. Just minute differences that make all of the difference. They're fantastic.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm going to have to try that one as well. For Admin Box, for Stay Tuned Sports Podcast, we want to thank all of you for coming out there. I can't wait to tune in. I'm going to find out what the Stay Tuned Podcast is about. Maybe getting in contact with them to see if maybe they want a guest appearance for somebody who doesn't mind busting people's balls. And like I said, I gave you just a spoiler. Titans, Packers, Super Bowl, Titans by 10. Guaranteed King Henry's back. Lock, seal, delivers. But Stash, any final words about an incredible race we've seen here at the Nashville Fairgrounds?
I said at the beginning of this season, last week with the first race, and I'll say it again this week. I'm looking forward to a fantastic season. These guys are already racing so hard, and it's only race 2 of 10. They're putting on a hell of a show, and I love watching these guys. I've never watched the modifieds run this hard before, let alone ever at all, and it's just incredible to watch. So kudos to these guys for the racing that they do. I can't wait to see it.
Damn fun to watch, incredible to cover, and what incredible racing here. And believe without any other stuff to cover here, that's going to conclude our broadcast here from the Nashville Fairgrounds. And we appreciate everybody for tuning in. This has been an incredible ride for me to come out here and do this. And next week, I'm going to try not to be as tired. I don't think I'm going to make a trip to Jacksonville. The season's over. So for myself, for Stash down there, for our great producer, Dustin, who gave you all the great shots, it's been fun, and we'll see you next week for this same show. And there's another race here as well, and pardon me, I forgot which one it is, but we'll catch you for Fuel, I do believe, on Thursday night? No Fuel. So just this one. So come to this one, same spot, same channel, and we'll see you next time. I should have asked about the Fuel before then.